What's up guys, welcome back again to your Heroclix headquarters. Today, we're going to be counting down the top 5 versions of not Steve Rogers Captain America. I've already covered Steve Rogers Captain America before, and today we're talking about all the other ones. So, without further ado, let's get to the list. Alright, starting us out at number 5, here we have Danielle Cage, the future daughter of Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. Pretty cool. She flies on the shield, which is very interesting. Must be some future upgrade to the shield. I don't honestly know for sure. But anyway, taking a look at her card here. She's got a trait, little bit of mom and dad. Captain America can reduce penetrating damage and has protected mind control. So obviously, reducing penetrating damage like Luke Cage's invulnerable skin, and protected mind control like Jessica Jones. And the Purple Man, can't mind control her, pretty cool stuff. Anyway, so special attack power, once per turn, when Captain America makes a range attack after resolutions, she may make a range attack targeting a different opposing character regardless of range and line of fire that is within 5 squares and line of fire of the first target. So it's like a cool shield bounce thing. She can running shot, 5 range, 11 attack, 3 damage. So running shot hits somebody, and then she can draw line of fire from the hit target to somebody else, and it's really cool. Impervious to start with is great with the ability to reduce penetrating damage, and being protected mind control is also really nice in today's day and age. Lack of willpower or indomitable is, of course better, that there's no more pushing damage anyway, it's fine. So after the running shot, she goes into some sidestep there, and then some charged super strength. Pretty cool. 100 points even. Not too bad. She can fly too, which is pretty cool. Yeah, just all around a pretty interesting version of Captain America. I like her a lot, so she's coming in at number 5. Coming in at number 4 for Captain America, here we have Bucky Barnes Captain America. This is from the Fear Itself storyline event. I love this version of Captain America. Let me tell you, back in the day, I played the heck out of this thing. He's lost a little bit of his effectiveness because he can't push off of his first click. Anyway, we'll get to that in a second. He starts with a trait, Death of a Hero. When Captain America is KO'd, choose a friendly character of 100 points or less. That character modifies its speed and attack values by +1. If that character is named Captain America or Steve Rogers, modify all of its combat values by +1 instead. I love that trait. I always used to team him up with the Tab app Captain America. They made a fun little team. Tab app Captain America, I think, could give energy shield deflection, so it helped to protect him to move up. Then he'd charge in, and then if he ever died, +1 all stats. And the Tab apps were pretty good, honestly, as ridiculous as they looked. But anyway, then he also has another special attack power. Friendly adjacent characters modify their defense values by +1, if not already modified by this effect. And if they are less points than Captain America, they may be within 3 squares instead of adjacent. That's really awesome. He's 88 points, which is, kind of random. But anybody less than 88 points within 3 squares of him gets that modification to their defense, which is really good. Then a special on his damage says Captain America can use support. When he uses it, if targeting a character of less points, that character's defense value becomes 0 for that action. Again, dealing with characters that are less points than him, if he uses support on them, it's just a 0 defense. It means he automatically hits, basically, and gets to roll for support to heal them a couple clicks, which is really cool. Another character I like to team him up with a lot was the 10th Anniversary Hulk. So it was just really fun that he was 87 points and he's 88, because being 1 point less than him, he's still got the benefits of being, within 3 squares to get that defense +1. And if he got hit, he could heal him basically super easily because his defense would be 0. And they made a nice 175 points, I believe. So that was a fun team too. Anyway, I would always used to charge this guy up there with super strength to hit somebody with a heavy object for 5 damage and push him off that first click so he could get that special power to up everyone's defense. Sadly, we can't do that anymore, but still solid starting out. Charge, super strength, 11 attack, 3 damage, some invulnerability. And then he gets that special power upping everyone's defense. Then he gets the special support to heal friendly characters, especially if they're lower points than him. Then you get some running shot energy shield deflection, some close combat expert as well. Pretty interesting dial there. Still not bad for the points. I'd still play this guy today. But yeah, so a little bit of a nerf now that he can't push himself onto the good stuff, but still overall a very good character. So he's coming in at number 4. So coming in at number 3 now is the Falcon Captain America, the Sam Wilson Captain America. Boom, there he is. Super awesome sculpt. This is the rare version from Captain America and the Avengers. There was a super rare version with the same sculpt in Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., but we'll talk about him later. Anyway, so he's really cool. I like him a lot for 75 points. He's got the Assembled Avengers trait, so if you have 3 or more Avengers, when he hits with an attack, you can roll. If you get a 5 or 6, you can remove an action token from him or give an action token to a hit character. If you have 6 or more Avengers, you can do both. So this is one of those traits that a lot of characters in this set have, and I forget it 90% of the time. It's pretty bad. It's a really good trait when you remember it, but I just forget it like 90% of the time. It's horrible. Anyway, so then he has Living Legend, which is really good. The first time each game he would be KO'd. Instead, turn him to his last non-KO click, roll a d6, and heal him half the result, Protected Pulse Wave. That's great. That gives him just so much extra life, basically for free. It's crazy. Special Defense Power gives him Super Senses, Toughness, and Defense +2 if Captain America moved during your last turn. Which is not hard to do at all. Running Shot with 6 range double target with 10 movement and flight is pretty nice. 11 attack for 3 damage, pretty solid. And 18 with Impervious to start with is great. Really solid attack values the whole way down, and damage stays pretty good almost the whole way as well. And then for everything but the first click, he's got that cool, was it Energy Shield Toughness? Yeah, Super Senses Toughness, and the +2 defense if he moved during the last turn. He's got Running Shot and Charge the whole time, so you know, it's pretty easy to keep him moving. And yeah, Leadership and Empower is great too. Only 75 points, and don't forget that he heals back, so he could easily have, you know, like he's got 6. He could easily have like a 10-click dial once he goes back and heals a few clicks from the Living Legend. So really cool. I like him a lot. So he's coming in at number 3. Now coming in at number 2 for me for Captain America's is Samantha Wilson. And I don't know exactly what she's from. Alternate future or alternate past or something. I'm sure she's probably related to Sam Wilson in some way, right? Gotta be. She is just insanely good, honestly. I almost put her at number 1. I really almost did. And she very easily could be. So she has this trait that just says, if Captain America is being carried, modify the carrying character's speed value by +3. And if Captain America has no action tokens, she can be given a non-free action after being carried. There's just so many good things about that. It's crazy. I've seen people use this on like Vulture teams right before, like right when Vulture came out, right before she rotated out. That was pretty insane. +3 movement to Vulture, carrying her around. But just +3 movement to anybody carrying her is insane. And then the fact that she can be given an action after being carried is super nuts too. Again, she came out in the days of, you know, ID cards still being a thing. So you could literally carry her super, super far up, and then she could literally just call in somebody. She's 70 points, so there's tons of people you could call in for that kind of point value. And she has Perplex, so even after she calls somebody in, she could perplex something. It's pretty crazy. Charge, Super Strength, Combat Reflexes, 11 attack, 2 damage. So, you mean you could charge, pick up an object, and perplex your attack or something and hit, which is still totally good. But, you know, in the days of ID cards, she was a monster. A little bit less so without them being modern age anymore. But still very, very powerful for all of those abilities. So for all those reasons, she's coming in at number 2. As always, before we get to number 1, we have some honorable mentions, or at least one in this case. And that's going to be the other version of Sam Wilson, Falcon, Captain America. This one from Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., super rare. Again, really cool sculpt, even though it got redone, it still looks great. And he starts with a trait, still King of the Birds. At the beginning of the game, you may generate 3 Pigeon bystander tokens and 1 Red Wing bystander token in your starting area. Take a look at those in a second. He has a special defense power. He can use Energy Shield Deflection, Invulnerability, Super Senses, and Willpower. So all the good stuff there. Really, really cool. And the fact that its actual willpower is better now, because if he was just indomitable, you know, he wouldn't get the new willpower, right? So he can actually roll to take tokens off himself. Energy Shield, Invuln, Super Sense is really good. And he makes these tokens, 3 pigeons that aren't really good for much of anything other than tying people up. And I guess maybe picking up a light object to drop off in your starting area, because they do have sidestep. But also the Red Wing Bystander is great. Charge, Precision Strike, Super Senses, 2 damage with tiny size, not bad at all. So yeah, you know, he is pretty costly though. 130 points is quite a bit. And if we just take a quick look through his dial, he starts with Running Shot, Precision Strike, 7 range though is pretty nice. And that special defense power up top is really good. Then he goes to some Flurry, Toughness, Empower, Charge, Exploit Weakness, and then KOs. So not a bad dial at all. I really almost put him on the list instead of the other version. I just think for 75 points, the Living Legend trait and the Assembled Avengers trait and everything that the other one can do for almost half the points of this one, you know, having similar combat values and everything, I just had to put the new rare version on the list. But this guy is still really cool. And so is basically any other version of Captain America. I mean, if we wanted to include, you know, like Isaiah Bradley, he's not bad. He had some pretty good ones in the Captain America set. If you wanted to throw Earth X Captain America into the mix, I thought about putting him on the list, but I didn't want to make it about Steve Rogers anymore in this one. But Earth X Captain America, both of them, there's a title character and there's like a convention exclusive. They're both really, really good. They could easily make, you know, the top 5 list of Captain Americas. But yeah, there's lots of really, really cool Captain Americas out there in the game. Let me know some of your favorites in the comments. And now we're going to head over to our #1 pick. All right, my #1 pick for alternate versions of Captain America, if you haven't guessed it by now, is Peggy Carter. Now, she doesn't have the Captain America name on her base like the rest of the figures in this list. So maybe this is cheating a little bit. But, I mean, she's got the shield, she's got the suit. As far as I'm concerned, she's Captain America. She looks awesome. It's an Ultra Chase, obviously. This is the only Ultra Chase I own, that I'm lucky enough to own. She's really cool. I like her a lot. I've used her plenty of times now. Mainly on the sideline, though. But even if you play her, like, on your main force, I think she's really good. So she also has the Living Legend trait that we saw. So the first time she's KO'd, put her on her last non-KO click, roll a d6, heal her half the result. Gives her a lot more life for the points. This really awesome sideline active trait here, when a friendly character named Captain America or Steve Rogers of 50 points or more is KO'd by an opposing attack, you may place Peggy Carter from your sideline into that square on her blue starting line. Then deal her damage equal to the final amount of damage taken by that character minus the damage that was clicked, the excess damage. So kind of wordy there, but basically when your opponent KOs your Captain America or your Steve Rogers that's 50 points or more, you can bring her in off the sideline. You just have to remember, you just have to be careful to remember exactly how many clicks of damage he took to die and how many were left over, because you're going to put her on her blue starting line, which is right here, and then you're going to deal her that much damage. Now, it doesn't say unavoidable, so you could actually still take the toughness into account, which does help. So if he only died and there was like 1 extra damage, she won't take anything because the toughness will reduce that still. So I really like her at both point values, even if you were to just play her on the map, especially at 75. I really like the 75 line. 9 movement charge, 12 attack with precision strike, 19 defense with defend is great, and a 4 damage with some leadership. Super awesome. I like having charged the entire dial is really nice. And then, you know, she gets some quake, she's got some precision strike, some toughness in the middle there, combat reflexes at the end. Also some support at the end is pretty nice, and a little bit of empower mixed in. Just a fun dial all the way through. Definitely useful for the whole thing. 6 range is nice too. Another thing though is when Peggy starts the game, you can generate a Bucky Barnes bystander. That's whenever she starts the game. So even if she's brought in from the sideline from this trait, she still gets the bystander token. And if you just play her at the beginning of the game, it'll generate the token at either point value. So it's really cool. Here's a look at the Bucky Barnes token. 4 range, 8 movement sidestep, 11 attack, 18 combat reflexes, and 2 damage with close combat expert. She also has actually some keywords, which is really nice. But yeah, just sidestep, 11 attack, 2 damage with close combat expert means 12 attack, 3 damage with close attack. So that's really nice for just a free bystander that you get to generate. And yeah, there's just a lot of really cool things she can do. I think playing her on the map for the 19 defend at 75 points and 12 attack, 4 damage is really good for 75 points. She's got a lot of health. Living Legend trait gives her more. She brings in a bystander token, and you can just play her on the sideline to swap in a Captain America, so you still have something on the field if you were to lose your Captain America. Which actually, fun fact, just thinking about this right now, he's named Captain America. You could swap him in, so when he dies, you could +1 the stats of one of your characters and still get her out on the field, which is kind of a win-win situation there. Alright, that's going to do it for this top 5 list. As always, if you enjoyed it, make sure you smash that like button for me. It really helps out a lot. Let me know in the comments if there's any other characters you'd like me to go over in a future top 5 list, and what your favorite Captain America figures are, because I'd love to know about that. And as always, don't forget to click that subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos. And if you'd like to help support the channel even more, of course, there's links in the description for our Patreon, so you can check that out and you can see your name here in the credits as well as some other awesome stuff. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's episode. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and until next time, this has been Heroclix Headquarters signing off.